What's going on, guys? Today we are here with a video that lots of you have been waiting for.
And that is, drum roll please. Why did we move back to Florida? Not only why did we move back to Florida, but how and why so quickly?
For those of you that are new to our channel, first off, you should probably subscribe. We are a family with 6 children who uprooted our lives from Wisconsin to follow our dreams of a life in Florida. Not once, but twice.
And we make all sorts of videos
About moving to Florida
and all the fun things you can do once you get here.
So remember to subscribe down below
Hit that bell
so you don't miss any of our uploads, especially when we go live to answer your questions. Every Thursday night, guys. Let's get right into the video.
right now.
Sunshine, blue skies, it's a state of mind that we came to find. I'm talking about palm trees, we're making memories. I don't wanna leave this sunshine state of mind.
So quick recap. For those of you, again, that are new to our channel, this is now our second time moving to Florida. We moved back to Wisconsin back in March of this year. Lindsay, why don't you give a quick recap as to why we made the decision to move back to Wisconsin?
So, for those of you who are new, we have 6 children. And I got pregnant with number 6. So it was right in the middle of, everybody knows what's going on in the world, COVID. And for those of you who are new and don't know, I have some health conditions with my lungs and heart. So the decision was made as a family that the best thing for us was to get back to the specialists that have delivered all my other babies and to be surrounded by family during that time.
Now, fast forward 7.5 months, and we were right back here in Florida, only 2 months after our newest baby was born.
So why did we move back so quick? Well, you ask, we tell. That's a really good question, and we've got a lot of that same question.
The short answer is we love Florida. It's where we feel at home the most.
And guys, when we moved back to Wisconsin, none of us expected to have the feelings that we did and that we did so quickly. We obviously had the best summer being back home with our family. Great grandparents got to watch the kids play ball. So it was great being back with family. We couldn't have asked for a better summer with them. But we all started to kind of, in our own little spaces, started to each kind of have feelings of missing here so much.
And we weren't telling each other
No,
about them in the
we
beginning.
weren't.
I was sitting to myself thinking, I miss the beach. I miss driving and seeing palm
The
trees.
lifestyle.
I miss the lifestyle. Guys, we grew to love this lifestyle of feeling like we're in paradise every single day. Now, that's not to say that we didn't like where we lived in Wisconsin,
Right.
because we loved being around family. But for us, everything that we like to do outside of family and recreationally is right here in the Sunshine State.
We all had these feelings like alone. Nobody was like, I wasn't talking to Eric about it. Eric didn't say anything to me. I was like, unbeknownst to him, unfollowing all the Florida like pictures and all that stuff, because it was just,
It was hard to see it.
It was hard to
It's
see.
hard to see it when that's the life that you lived and that's where you secretly want to be without telling each other at the time.
Right.
And then having to see it every day,
It was hard.
It hurt.
Actually, our oldest finally came to us and was like, Mom, Dad, you know how I can always talk to you about anything, right? And we're like, great, you know,
What did you
13-year-old.
do?
Yeah, right. And he started talking about his feelings and how much he missed it and that he was sorry for feeling that way. He didn't want us upset. He just knows that we're a safe place that he can tell us things.
And then I'm like, you too?
And then I looked at Eric and I'm like, me too. And
So then it just became a family discussion.
yes,
We started talking with the other kids, and it turns out
all
of us
them.
were feeling that way. So it's hard to not do something when everybody in the family is on the same page. So we all wanted the same goal.
We all wanted the same goal, but us as parents know how kids are. So we didn't act right away.
We wanted to make sure it wasn't something that was just going to be a phase. Right when we moved to Florida, we went through the honeymoon phase living in Florida, where the first 3 months were great, and then all of a sudden we had the emotional lows.
Yep.
And it took a while to get over that, so we knew that already from moving across the country one time.
That's a big decision to up and move, you know what I mean, across the country. So it was like, wait a minute, we need to pump the brakes. We're gonna keep this an open tabletop conversation. Kids can come to us at any time and talk to us about this. Eric can come to me, I can go to him, and we can just kind of work through our feelings and see. Let's take the summer, let's take a few months, let's have the kids back in their summer sports with their friends and see if just dies down a little bit. But it was very much the opposite. It was almost every day the kids were
Every day they were coming to us, and it came to the point probably in about September that we started saying, you know, let's wait, and we need a sign, right?
Yep.
We
That's
needed
right.
Signs that Florida is right for us. And what happened?
I was on the phone with Eric and I said, I just wish something would like slap me in the face that this is what we're supposed to do. I am not kidding you guys. I turned around and in the yard, right by the patio, just like in Florida, was 2 sandhill cranes.
And you guys, you have sandhill cranes in Wisconsin.
I didn't know that.
But it's not like it was when we lived in Florida. They came to our patio door every single day. They would tap on our glass. And it wasn't something that they did in Wisconsin. So seeing that in Wisconsin was a big eye-opener. And that same day, on my way home from work, I had a Florida license plate in front of me. Now, that might not seem like a lot to you guys, but there's not a whole lot of Florida license plates up in northern Wisconsin.
In our small little community as well. So guys, there is no regrets whatsoever with moving back home. It is where we needed to be at the time that we were there. There is absolutely zero regret. The only regret I have is hurting anybody leaving again so soon.
We were pleasantly surprised at how supportive our whole family was, and they knew it.
Yeah.
They knew that Florida is where our hearts were, and that is the ultimate decision maker for us, is that Florida is where our hearts are. It's where our hearts feel at home. It's where our lifestyle fits us.
And don't get us wrong, a huge chunk of our heart will always be in Wisconsin. That is where our family is, but our home is here in Florida.
So a couple months after we got the signs came the job offer. And it was a company that I wanted to work for, and it was a job that I wanted to have, and everything just seemed to fit. So at that point, it became real. So the job offer came the first week of November. My new employer wanted me to start the first week of December, so that's a pretty quick timeline. As soon as we knew it was official, we told you guys, and you've been along for the ride ever since. It was a very fast timeline, and something that I wouldn't say I recommend it, but I think it's the easiest way emotionally, because you're really just leaping right into it with no time to think.
And that's another thing I wanted to say too, because I got a ton of questions as to why would you pull them out again in the middle of the,
so quickly.
Right? Why wouldn't you let them finish the school and then start in the summer? Which is all extremely valid. And I think you and I would both say that if you could do it that way, it's probably the way to do it.
If you can lay out your move and plan every single step and everything's going to go according to plan, then kudos to you.
But here's the situation, guys. Anyone that knows us knows that everything we do, we table it and we talk as a family all together, and we take the kids' thoughts, feelings, emotions, everything into any decision that Eric and I make is always going to involve where our kids are at with things. And we laid it all out. I mean, we did the pros, the cons to each one of our kids. What would be the pro for Maverick, the con for Maverick, the pro for Brody, the con, and we laid it all out. And here's one of the biggest things on Brody's end of it was that the fact that Brody's going to be in high school next year, you guys. And Miles is going to be in middle school. And they were both under the same kind of feelings of that they would be fine with whatever decision Eric and I made. However, we asked them, in a perfect world, how would you lay this out? And both of them were like, I know it sounds crazy, but I'd rather just go now and have a half a year to get to know kids. They knew that we were going to be in a new area. They knew they were going to be not returning to the school that they were in Florida and going to a different one. So they're like, I'd rather have some buddies and have established friends and established teachers and a routine.
Prior to going to a new school and being the absolute new kid where nobody knows you.
Exactly. Brody's like, you know, I'm going into high school next year. I'd like to have some buddies going to the high school. And Miles was the same agreements in the fact that he's like, yeah, if I could establish with some friends before I make that big jump to a middle school, that's what fit for us guys. Now that's not going to work for everybody, but that is what fit for my kids. Our kids are very outgoing. They're very talkative. They relatively make friends pretty easily. They wanted to get going. They wanted to kind of rip that Band-Aid off. So that was the decision that we made as a family, and that's why we moved as quickly.
So it's going to sound a little crazy, but it almost took us leaving and going back to Wisconsin to know that Florida is where we really truly want to be.
Now guys, we do not recommend this.
I do.
It's almost like we're the test dummies to like what not to do. So then we can help you not make the mistakes we've made.
Don't worry guys, we'll be your guinea pigs.
So you're welcome. No, I'm just kidding. What we're saying is that it did, like 100%. If anyone has followed our journey, they know how much I struggled. Like I was a struggle bus for, what would you say, 6 to 8 months the first time we moved here.
Probably, yeah.
With my emotions of just missing my entire family, my grandparents, my mom, my aunts, my uncles, my sisters, everybody. It was every day was like the end of the world for me because I missed them so much. I come from a very, very close family. We are like this. So I struggled. And when we were driving home to Wisconsin and we hit that border, we thought this is it. This is where we're gonna be. We're gonna let our kids finish. We're gonna let them.
I didn't.
No, I knew that you and I were going to be back, like for sure.
Remember when we got to the border?
Yeah.
And it was snowing?
Yeah.
And it was freezing? I'm like, screw this.
I'm gonna be really honest with you. The regret kicked in very quickly.
We just didn't share it.
We just didn't share it. I always knew you and I were gonna be back. Like I knew that, but I didn't think we were gonna be able to do it so quickly because of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't gonna just, oh, here we go. You know what I mean? That was not our intentions to just keep switching our kids and pulling them, putting them somewhere, you know, and moving. Like we are pretty like stable, you know what I mean? We like stability for the kids. We want them to feel at home.
It doesn't seem like
It doesn't seem like that, but
we
we
do.
really are. It hit me pretty quickly of like, oh my gosh. And it wasn't anything. We love our hometown. I grew up there. I grew up riding my bikes down all those alleys. I have memories on every single street. I love seeing my grandma's house. I love the smell of my grandma's house, my mom's house. All of those memories just come flooding back of my childhood. It wasn't anything like that. We love Wisconsin and we love our hometown. It was just our hearts were over there too, and it was hard to ignore.
And it's hard to ignore when all of your kids are saying that this is where they want to be as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same feelings that us as parents have. So when we're all on the same page, it's almost like, why not? Why are we here if we all miss being where we used to be?
And I think it was hard for the kids to decipher like what's going on. I'm having these feelings, but I have all my friends here in Wisconsin too, because our kids had all their buddies. They had sleepovers. They played sports. They went to haunted houses. They had their buddies in Wisconsin, and they also had the most people they loved in the world was our family. But then they were feeling these feelings, and I think it was hard for kids to be like, what do I do with this? Where do we go with this? And will I hurt people's feelings if I be honest on just where my address is? And I think that was very hard, and we had a lot of discussions with them on like, nothing's wrong with you. You're not in trouble. It doesn't mean you're bad or anything like that, because it was that tug and pull again. This transition back to Florida probably looks like easy peasy to some people, and that's because we've already been through this.
And you're not seeing behind the scenes of everything. Believe me, it was not easy.
No, it was not easy, you guys. Like, I will tell you right that's a whole nother video in itself that we could really get down to this was hard. So I don't want you to just automatically think that your first move here, it's gonna be, oh, it's just gonna be easy peasy. Because you're not. You're gonna go through ups and downs. Even this second time, I'm doing so much better than I was the first time, but that's because, guys, I've already done this. I know what to expect. I know that the roller coaster of emotions that can come of missing family, and I've already had a couple of those days of like, man, you know, I miss seeing my mom at the bus stop every morning to see my kids off to school.
It's almost like you said, riding a roller coaster, but it's a roller coaster you've already ridden before, so you know where the drop-offs are.
Exactly.
You can brace yourself for the drop-offs because you've done this ride before.
And I think this time around too, we know what we did wrong the first time around. We know that we needed to get home to have our visits and
We
visit
know
more.
we needed to purge more.
That was on you this time. I know I need to do more FaceTimes. I know I need to put in the work with the communication. We can take all the things that we did wrong the first time to make this time, this last time, successful. So you can have your cake and eat it too. I can stay and remain close with my family, but I can also be here where I love as well.
So learn from our mistakes, guys. Follow us on our journey so you don't make the same mistakes that we made and you can make your move a successful one. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.